Hey, this is Ryan of Happy Healthy Vegan. So you guys have probably heard of scurvy, but probably never met or known anyone that's ever had scurvy because it's been eradicated, because we all know to eat plants, fruits, vegetables, and we have access to them all year, no matter where you're at. Well, that's unless you're following the carnivore diet, which is exactly what James Blunt did. You're going, James Blunt, the guy that did that You're Beautiful song? Well, yeah, that guy. I barely remember that song too.
You're beautiful. You're beautiful.
It's interesting how our brains get rid of information that it really doesn't need. And in my case, it was this You're Beautiful song. I really had to stretch to try to remember that one. Anyway, James revealed his scurvy diagnosis and why he went carnivore on a recent appearance on this podcast, Table Manners, that I'll show you. And you'll find it quite interesting. The reason why he went carnivore was to piss off vegans.
And then on the sociology side of things, there were 170 girls and only 3 boys, of which all the girls were vegetarians or vegans. And so out of principle, I decided I would become a carnivore.
What kind of messed up thinking is that? Like, oh, all these people, all these females are vegans and vegetarians, so out of principle, you need to go carnivore? Why? You want to show you're some kind of like tough alpha male? I mean, no one's going to buy that. Remember, you're the one that made the You're Beautiful song.
You're beautiful.
I just lived on mince, some chicken, maybe with some mayonnaise, a little bit of, and it took me about 6 to 8 weeks to get very, very unhealthy, see a doctor who then said, I think you've got the symptoms of scurvy.
Oh my God, that's hilarious.
Wow, that is extremely shocking. It took James a mere 6 odd weeks to start feeling symptoms of being vitamin C deficient from having nothing but just meat in his diet, and went to the doctor, and good for him. If you're ill, you should go see a medical doctor, and the doctor diagnosed James with having scurvy. So this kind of blows that carnivore theory out of the water, in which they claim that if you're eating nothing but meat and having no dietary sugars whatsoever, that it's impossible or virtually impossible to come down with scurvy. Some theory about how vitamin C and glucose compete against each other. Anyway, as we saw here in James's case, in a mere 6 weeks, he already was so deficient in vitamin C that his doctor diagnosed him with scurvy.
Anyway, then he said you're really lacking in vitamin C. So then I took it upon myself to just drink a litre of orange juice every night, and then I immediately developed acid reflux. So
I'm kind of curious why James didn't say his doctor just prescribed him a vitamin C supplement, but James said he drank a liter of orange juice every day, which therefore means that James quit. He failed at the carnivore diet and quit. And I want to point that quit word. He's leaving carnivore. He left carnivore because carnivores love to point out when a vegan fails due to health reasons and makes a I quit vegan video. So that's basically what James did here on this podcast, why he quit carnivore diet, because it failed him. He started drinking orange juice.
So as you can see, yeah, food's not necessarily my forte.
Apparently not, James. If this is the thought process that you had, like you're in university, I'm not sure why you're in university now, but anyway, you saw these females eating plants and you decided you'd be some tough male that eats only meat, within 6 weeks to become so deficient in vitamin C, you develop scurvy. So obviously, you're making a series of bad choices here. And speaking about his doctor diagnosing him with scurvy, I'm kind of speculating here that his doctor probably said you shouldn't do it, and that's why James was drinking orange juice to try to rectify it. I'm just speculating the doctor recommended that James change his diet to something more balanced that included plants, because there's no health organization in the world that I'm aware of that says, yeah, carnivore diets are healthful and nutritionally adequate for people in all phases of life. But on the flip side of that, vegan diets, vegetarian diets, are said to be exactly that, nutritionally adequate and healthful for people in all stages of life. And this is true for the American Dietetics Association and the British Dietetics Association. So the big takeaway from James's experience here is that despite what some gurus in the carnivore movement say, it is completely possible to develop scurvy on a carnivore diet and do it in a relatively short amount of time too. Like I said, I was shocked that someone could become so vitamin C deficient in such a short amount of time that they'd be diagnosed with scurvy in 6 to 8 weeks after embarking on a carnivore diet. So anyway, guys, Leave your questions and comments down below. Let me know if you've ever had scurvy. I'd be quite surprised. Let me know what you think of James Blunt's experiment here, or his experience, I should say. It is an experiment, huh? Anytime you give up a major food group known as plants, you're going on experiment because you have the backing of pretty much no science, no medical groups, no health organizations whatsoever. So anyway, leave your questions and comments down below. Hit like, share this video, and make sure, please, that you're subscribed to our channel. And not only that, these days YouTube's made some changes. You have to also hit the notification bell to get notified when new videos come out, when I do live streams, and the whole thing. So anyway, please hit that, support our channel. Until next time, James, if you're listening, keep it carved up, guys. Carbohydrates for the win.
When does the pain